It's recording. Okay, my name is Samara Liu, and this is my partner, Isabel Ashton.
Hi, I'm Isabel Ashton.
Okay.
I did the reading and the assignment today. Did you?
Yes, I did.
It's okay.
Okay. All right. First 4 questions. What are the 3 main ways photosynthesis supports life on Earth?
Okay, so the first one is it provides oxygen through photosynthesis, which like all the other organisms basically all need. Second way is that almost all organisms get food directly or indirectly from photosynthesis. So like plants, they're the bottom of the food chain, and then they support everything on top, and they make their own food, and then everything either eats the plants or eats something that ate plants. And then the third one is sugars from photosynthesis are the building blocks of life because they provide molecules that other organisms use in their own structures. So like the sugars that are made by plants are needed by the other organisms in their structures.
All right, second question. How do plants meet the everyday needs of humans?
So plants are the fundamental source of food. Humans are heterotrophs, and so they need to get food directly or indirectly from plants that are the autotrophs and the primary producers.
Okay, and what are the major challenges facing conservation biology?
So it's a critical area of research, but half of the like original forests are gone, and tons of species die every year because of the habitat loss that comes from that. Specifically, like slash and burn agriculture wipes out tons of rainforests every year, and humans don't replenish the supplies, the resources that they use.
And what are the potential benefits and challenges associated with genetically modified crops?
So, like genetically modified crops are really controversial because some people are like Frankenstein, but they've been we've been genetically modifying plants through like plant breeding forever, but it's just a lot faster when they do it now. They can make like organisms have the genes of things that they wouldn't usually be able to get from genetic modification. That can make really helpful things like the golden rice that they brought up, how it can give like the kids vitamin A that doesn't come from regular rice. But like one of the bad parts of it is like if these things kind of like escape, they talked about like the super weed that could grow and like really bad consequences that can come from like accidentally genetically modifying like the wrong thing, like weeds. Okay. Now, next question. What are the general characteristics of plants? Please describe them.
Okay. First one is they're multicellular eukaryotes, so their cells contain a nucleus.
Next occurrence of the first is Tuesday, February 1st, 2022.
So their cells contain a nucleus, much like animals, fungi, and algae. That one word is. And then almost all are capable of photosynthesis, so they're autotrophs. And then their cell walls are composed mainly of cellulose, which consists of a chain of glucose molecules. And the cellulose helps distinguish plants from other eukaryotes. And then they have 2 adult forms, which alternate in producing each other. One makes spores, which are reproductive cells that are able to develop into adults without fusing with other reproductive cells. And the other form makes sperm or eggs, and the sperm fertilizes the eggs to create an embryo, developing into an adult organism. And lastly, they contain multicellular embryos that are protected within the female parent, protected by, what's it called? Embryos evolved as an adaptation to life on land, which prevents the embryo from drying out. This distinguishes plants from algae.
Okay, good. What are the what are the major types of plants? Please describe them.
Okay, there are a few. So there are bryophytes, I think that's how it's pronounced, which are a group of small non-flowering plants that are simpler in structure to other plants. And then there's vascular plants that are the vast majority of plants. They have highly organized and efficient vascular tissue. They consist of cells joined into tubes which transport water and nutrients throughout the plant's body. And then there's gymnosperms, which are non-flowering seed plants. And the seeds are not completely sealed within a protective layer. And then there's angiosperms, which are flowering seed plants, and the seeds are enclosed in ovaries, which are called fruits when they mature. One reason they've adapted more successfully in many environments is because they have a more rapid system for moving water throughout their bodies.
Awesome. What is the difference between deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning?
Okay, I do not have an example for these, but reasoning from the general to the specific is known as deductive reasoning, and specific observations, which are then formed into general conclusions based on those observations, are known as inductive reasoning.
Okay. And how is scientific knowledge generally acquired?
They come from direct observation and testing the hypothesis through experimentation.
What are some fields of study for botanists?
This one I was a little confused about. But they can study multiple aspects of plants from evolution, functions, structure, life cycles, and reproduction. And they can also study algae and photosynthetic organisms that can help them learn more about photosynthesis. They can also study fungi and how they help and harm plants and humans.
Okay, I think we're done then.
All right, just end this.